All right, we got some news.
Yeah.
Super Bowl was yesterday. By the way, it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for spending it with us.
You didn't get anything for us?
Yeah, wait, where's our candy?
No, I didn't.
Where's my roses?
More importantly, this is the Snyder Day. Happy Snyder Day, 2/14.
Yes.
But we
Happy
had
Snyder Day.
We had
all you
Snyder,
Snyder heads
that's
out
right.
there.
We had
What are they called? Snyders? Snyder fans?
lovers.
You guys don't have an official title for
I'm a
yourselves?
Snyder lover.
We just say
You're a
Heil
lover.
Snyder.
Oh boy, okay. Snyder. What's the Snyder news?
Yeah. There was no Snyder news. I was just.
Okay.
He did drop a tweet today that was
Had some words in
Stir
it.
in the
baby,
pot.
hope baby,
Oh, baby.
No, we had the biggest things. Super Bowl was yesterday.
Oh, right.
We had a few teaser trailers. We're going to start off with the Rings of Power,
Oh,
baby.
yeah, your favorite
the
show,
Prime. I'm primed and ready for
Number
this.
what on your list?
Number
Exactly.
1 on my list.
Oh.
So the Lord of the Rings teaser finally dropped. I'm gonna throw it over to Choop first.
Oh, no,
say-
no.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
What did you think?
No, I want to hear what you guys want to think. What do you guys
What do
think?
you want to think?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
I'm gonna
of the
throw it
trailer?
to Mick first.
And I'm gonna
Pass it to me. I'll take
hand
it.
it to Corey.
I mean, it was really quick. It looked interesting. I mean, guys, this was so short and so like quick that like it's really hard to judge. I saw a lot of people having issues with things, different shots. They paused it and they're like, "This doesn't look like it." This
Talking
doesn't
about
look
dumb
like-
fans again,
This doesn't
right?
look like Tolkien, but I'm like, it looked cool. I don't know. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more. But you know, whatever. I'm not slowing it down at half speed and analyzing it.
Yeah.
I just watched it once. That was it.
Josh is.
For sure. For sure. And that's why you're last.
Yeah, same thing. It was definitely a teaser. I mean, there wasn't a lot shown. The visuals look cool. The characters look cool. I don't know. Not much to say about it
looks
until we get like
cool.
an actual trailer. But
Yeah.
the production quality looks amazing. I mean, you can definitely tell there's money in this show. So yeah, I'm still optimistic.
Does money buy happiness? Well, we'll find out.
Yes, it does.
I really liked it. And the more I've seen, the more like my fears are kind of like I was like concerned about it. But the more I see and the more I read, I'm like, okay, I'm good with this. There was an article in Vanity Fair, I think, that kind of talked about, you know, people being concerned about like getting intimacy coaches and was this going to be Game of Thrones? And the guys writing it were like, we want kids to watch this show. Like we want 12 and 13-year-olds to watch it. It's not going to be. So that to me was like, okay, I don't have to worry about it being Game of Thrones with like sex and nudity and that kind of stuff, which is one of my concerns. So that was like sweet. And then this teaser, I think we got to see some really cool things. I think we got to see Numenor. There's just I assume the little girl is a proto-hobbit, you know, which isn't something that's in Tolkien, I don't think.
No.
So some people are upset about that, but I think you're kind of giving the origins of the hobbits, which is cool. I think we got to see, I call him Gil-galad, but I think it's Gil-galad from
Gil-galad
people I've been hearing.
Sounds dope.
Doran was in it. There's a lot of cool things. The elf, who is a new character, right? The Sylvan elf, the guy that in slow motion grabbed the arrow. That was a cool shot. He saves a guy that's going to get shot and then returns the arrow. That was cool. Everything to me looked cool. I don't think I'm, like Mick says and Corey says, there's been a lot of people complaining. Those are like Tolkien heads that are really like, this isn't right. This shouldn't be like this. But to me, it looked cool. And I want to know more about it. I thought Galadriel looked cool also. We're obviously seeing a younger Galadriel that's more of a warrior, as opposed to what we saw in the Third Age, what's happening with Lord of the Rings, which to me also is pretty faithful to some of the things Tolkien has said. Tolkien has talked about her being Amazon-like, like a warrior, and to me that fits with what we're seeing. The one thing I was a little weird about was the meteor.
Yeah.
And there's a guy in the meteor.
Yep.
I don't know what
Meteor
that was.
Man.
I don't know what that was.
And so people are saying, like, is that the
Kal-El.
Valar? Is that the Maiar? The Blue Wizards or stuff like that. So, but those were supposed to happen before this takes place. So it's kind of interesting. Like, are they? What
be
are they
a
doing with
flashback,
that?
too.
So that'll be interesting. The last thing I'll say, one of the last shots, we got to see elves versus orcs, a battle going on. I think that's Galadriel's brother.
Yeah.
And there's a shot that some people are saying is a Balrog in the background, which would be pretty insane if we're seeing a Balrog in battle.
Right.
Would be nuts.
dope.
So that's the kind of stuff that I'm excited about. Would be pretty interesting. But I'll pass it over to Josh, who is our resident expert.
You know, I was saying I was cautiously optimistic. I'm 100% in, guys. I can't help it. We're going. You know what I'm saying?
Going to Middle Earth, baby.
We're going to Middle Earth. That's the thing. Like in the end, I try not to get too caught up on like. So they said in the article, which they confirmed, it's a compressed timeline. So they're compressing the timeline because in the Second Age, literally things take 1,000 years to happen.
Isn't the Second Age like 3,500 years or something?
It's something crazy. So it's like something happens here, and it's like 2,000 years later,
This
happens. 2,000 years later, this happens.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can't really tell that story.
That is a reason why I was kind of skeptical, because I was like, is there going to be enough detail? Is there going to be like anything interesting?
Right.
Or is it just generic, this happened?
Well, so that's the thing is the other thing is that Tolkien didn't write a bunch of stuff in the Second
Right.
Age. So they've got their leeway. They can weave in their different things and they can compress things to make things happen in, you know, a closer timeline. So, I mean, that causes concern.
That also gives room for
right.
mistakes.
Meteor Man.
But at the end, yeah, right. So Meteor Man is one of those things where it's like the only
are they
meteor
doing?
that they talk about in Tolkien is someone forges some swords out of meteor, and that's it.
That's cool.
You know, so there's no one travels in a meteor or anything like that. So that's a new thing. They don't know who
Gandalf.
he is.
Some people are saying it's Gandalf.
Right. I don't think it's Gandalf.
He came out of a meteor.
Some people it might be Sauron deceiving people, coming to deceive people, because he's a shapeshifter. So that's what he does. That's what he do. It might be one of the blue wizards coming, which would be against Tolkien because technically they come later in the timeline. But those are the kind of things that I'm like, I don't get super upset about. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, if you change that, that's fine. You know, we're working with that. I'm not, or people that are upset about like elves with short hair. What is this? You know what I mean? I'm like,
we won't know too until the show comes out.
And it seems like the short hair is a way for them to say, hey, this elf's younger than this elf, because you can't tell. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's just those type of things. Right. But I think overall, I'm excited about it. Like you said, it does give them leeway to make their own stuff, which as long as it stays within the rules of Tolkien, I'm down with that. Like, but it also gives them the opportunity to invent things and make things up, which is totally fine too, as long as it doesn't get too ridiculous. But the other thing, there's, like you mentioned, that Vanity Fair article that kind of made me, kind of gave me more confidence, is the fact that the writers were like, yeah, we had to present our story to the Tolkien estate. Yeah. Like they had to go before the Tolkien estate and say, this is what we're doing with the story. Like
the overarching story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, Christopher Tolkien passed away, so he's not in charge anymore, but you know, there's people that belong to the Tolkien estate that have essentially given their seal of approval for these things.
And they are like a very like protective family of.
Right. And Christopher Tolkien was, the one that was like basically shut everything down. So now they're a little more open with it. But the thing that excites me about it is, we had talked about rights before, and like, what do they have rights to? Apparently they only have rights to what's in the Lord of the Rings books.
The appendices.
What?
The appendices.
Really?
And that's it.
Nothing
so we
in the Silmarillion, right?
Nothing. They have no rights to the Silmarillion. So anything they mention in the Lord of the Rings is fair game. But what Tolkien did was he had the Silmarillion. No one wanted to publish it. Yeah. And he was just like, you know what? I'm just going to throw facts about the Silmarillion in all of the Lord of the Rings. So there's like a bunch of Silmarillion facts, or like,
I see,
people he mentions, things he mentions that happened in the Silmarillion that he just snuck in there.
So they share some information.
Right.
Okay.
So there's some details where you're like, we can't name this battle this thing because it's in the Silmarillion, but we know that a battle did happen with these characters. So that gives them a little leeway.
Well, they don't have to say, this is the battle of...
Right.
They can just have the battle.
Exactly.
Right.
But there's certain characters that they can bring in because they're mentioned in the Lord of the Rings and the appendices.
This reminds me of some of the like earlier Marvel Marvel stuff, like with characters
Stuff
that
that
are
works.
shared.
X-Men,
Like, you
you
can't
can't-
say mutant, but
Right.
That's true.
which I think it'll work out fine.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm a sucker.
And here's the other thing too. I know I've seen a lot of people being like complaining about, oh, they're gonna ruin it. I was like, that's not gonna
doesn't
ruin the
ruin
book.
anything.
Like to me,
I
that
don't
whole
think-
thing is like, if you hate the show, if you think it's completely ridiculous, like I followed a person on Twitter that was
fake.
like really smart. Like they did this whole article about it, and so I followed them because I read the article. I was like, that's really awesome. And then I had to unfollow them because they were complaining about everything about the show. And like one of the things they complained about was like, why are they putting it on during the Super Bowl? Like this is just Amazon trying to make money. I was like, no, this is how you market a movie. And so it was just kind of like unreal, that kind of stuff. Like
Right.
Galadriel has her hair in a braid. That's not Tolkien.
Right.
And elves are short hair. And I was just like, if you're going to be nitpicky about that, you're just not going to enjoy the show. Yeah. There's going to be things that are going to be different. Like one of the big things was like the dwarves women don't have beards.
Right.
I'm like, sorry. Like it's just, they decided to go that way. They still look like dwarf women, right? But they just don't have the beards. Right. Like
Maybe they only
you're
get beards in the Third Age. Maybe
Well,
they didn't have them in
Well,
the
Tolkien's pretty clear about dwarves are born, like you can't tell the difference between the males and females. Like he's been clear about that. But I just think it's just a choice they made to be that's aesthetically different. It doesn't mean they're like destroying Tolkien's works, you know?
Right.
So I just think like some people need to kind be take a step back and just be like, hey,
Might as well burn the books.
wait till the show comes
No
out
beard.
and see it and judge by it, you know, like be patient. I think a lot of times mega fans, Star Wars fans do this all the time, DC fans do this, Marvel fans do this, is like we think because the comic book says this or the book's this way, anything that's different from in a teaser, we get our pitchforks and this is going to be the worst. It's like be patient, let it watch the first season and then make your decision based on seeing it in context.
The cool thing is, and it might alleviate a little bit, is that the success of a show does not hinge on the super fans. They are the minority. So, I mean, the majority of people are going to decide the fate and whether or not this is good or you know, if they get season 2 or 3, you know, that's going to be up to them. So,
Another thing that's interesting, real quick, is apparently the rights for the Lord of the Rings, the games and movies are up for grabs. Like
You guys want to?
they're going
pitch in?
$2 billion, right? I think $2 billion.
Chump change.
But I just think
do it.
that's interesting because that means depending on right now we've been
gonna
talking
reboot,
about
baby.
well we've been talking about no, but I'm thinking this like we've talked about PlayStation and Microsoft, the console war stuff. Would PlayStation would Sony buy the rights to Lord of the Rings video games to be like, hey, we're gonna, you know, that might be something. And then Sony also makes movies, so I'm like, would that be something that just be a game changer? Would they ever reboot the Lord of the Rings and do a new trilogy? That's kind of just something that's interesting that we may be getting more Lord of the Rings.
random question: was Lord of the Rings successful in Japan? Do you guys remember?
I have no idea.
No,
I think
idea.
worldwide it was pretty big, but I don't know.
Okay.
You saying Nintendo's going to buy it?
I'm just thinking about the possibilities, man. Yeah, that's interesting. That could be one IP that might get snatched up. Yeah, especially if this does well, or if they anticipate it doing well. Rings of Power.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Is like, would
then-
Prime buy the rights to the movies, or
Yeah.
would you have like?
Amazon
I
Studios.
mean, Warner Brothers owned it. Now they're not anymore. But it's like I really don't want Disney to buy it. But is there a company that would Apple buy and then start doing their own series? Like it's going to be kind of crazy because you're going to have Amazon doing their own thing, these going up for.
But how long does Amazon have the rights?
I
don't know
for the
what
show.
I have no clue because the rights are so jacked up for all the Tolkien stuff because he sold off parts
Right.
and certain parts are available, other
Crazy.
parts aren't.
That's so crazy.
Doesn't MGM own Hobbit?
Yeah,
right.
I think so. Yeah.
Or like
But aren't those ones going out too?
I don't know because
Or is it
even
just Lord of the Rings?
because they
movies?
just announced the date for the anime Ride of the Rohirrim, I think.
Yeah.
Comes out in April 2024. But that's a WB property that they're, so they're
Oh, that's HBO Max then?
I don't know. They just said WB is doing it. WB Animation. So that's where it's. I have no. It's such a
Interesting.
Well,
so messed up.
Who's developing the Gollum game?
I can't remember what studio it is.
But that must have been before.
Right.
Like that's probably the last. Is there another Lord of the Rings game?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so we'll see. Interesting though. Moving on to the other teaser that was kind of everyone was talking about was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness dropped, and it was pretty crazy. There's a lot of
They're doing it. They're
a lot
really
of stuff
doing
going
it.
on.
They're doing it.
Apparently, we got Charles Xavier's voice in there.
At the end.
We had like some people are saying Fantastic Four. Reed Richards was in there. They're mixing a ton of stuff. We reviewed on this channel What If, the animated stuff. There's a lot of animated things in there. There's the zombies.
Dark
Yeah.
Doctor
There's
Strange.
the Dark
Evil.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
There's
Wanda's obviously in it.
Wanda. There's a zombie Wanda in there. There's also Captain Carter in the poster. You see her shield. So
Yep.
they're basically
Multiverse.
mixing everything, which is pretty crazy.
You also see animated,
Yes.
like cartoon stuff in the trailer
Yeah.
too.
So,
Crazy.
anyways, who wants to go first and kind of just talk about what your initial reaction was? Go ahead, Mick.
Okay. I liked it. I thought it was crazy. I could definitely tell that Sam Raimi has a part in it, which I like. I like that. I'm hoping that kind of moving forward, Marvel gives more creative control to the directors. And when you have a director like Sam Raimi, who's like very well known for his low budget horror, obviously his Spider-Man trilogy, he just has a very specific feel and tone to his movies. And I got that from the trailer, and it makes me just more excited about it. So yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. Charles Xavier, possibly Mr. Fantastic.
Deadpool also. They're saying teases
yeah.
of Deadpool in there. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I we could be getting tons of crazy stuff, and we're not even ready for it.
Yeah, is this the movie that kind of just unlocks everything?
The X-Men. I think this
Right?
is where they're saying the
And-
X-Men is gonna.
Not Fantastic Four?
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
but I just
So
think
I
that
like- dude.
all the Fox stuff coming in.
Bro, it's like this movie seems like it's going to be instrumental in the future of Marvel. It's crazy. That's why this movie is like, yeah, I don't even know how to take it because I'm like, I like the Wanda stuff they did. It's like when I do this, when I do all this stuff and change reality, like everyone hates me and I'm a villain. But when you do it, you're a hero. It's like, that's a cool aspect of it.
Yeah.
That was interesting. But it's just like, oh, there was so much in that trailer. I'm just like, good luck, making all this work out. I feel like it's gonna be a very hectic movie.
Yeah,
That's an interesting line. I didn't really think about it, but that line with Wanda saying that's huge in the comics with mutants versus every other superhero for some reason. Mutants are like always looked upon as like
Outcast.
lesser or outcast, even though they're just superheroes.
and she's Magneto's daughter, so
Isn't
Yes.
she? Yeah, I was gonna say technically she's a mutant.
She is,
now
so,
she is.
Right.
Before they had to keep that
So that's interesting. That
because of rights.
I think that's alluding to some things.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. Like I'm interested after No Way Home, like having all the multiverse stuff. Like this looks interesting. The only thing for me is like when we come out with the next movie that doesn't have any multiverse in it, am I going to be like, well, that's kind of disappointing. There's just one superhero in there. You know what I mean? Like
I get that. Yeah.
I feel like No Way Home was so huge, and then this one's like, this is going to be crazy.
yeah.
We're going to bring in all these things. And then it's like, I feel like the one after that's just going to be like a letdown. The other thing too that I'm like, I think people were saying they're like, oh, they're going to introduce the Illuminati. I'm like, is this another like people that are in charge of controlling timelines? Because like
That's what
at
it
this
feels
point,
like,
we're at number 4 or 5 or whatever we are now at this point of like agencies or people that control a timeline. It's like, okay, whatever. But I mean, visually it looked cool. I like Doctor Strange. I like the first movie too.
Yeah.
And so I'm just interested to see. Yeah, it'll be crazy to see if they introduce Zac Efron as Wolverine.
Go ahead, let Mick talk.
Oh, I was just,
Let me talk.
Hashtag.
You're the person.
I was just gonna say, I think I think they can pull off doing a like smaller scale movie after something massive. Like after Endgame, we got Spider-Man Far From Home. Smaller scale, less stakes.
And it sucked.
Did you know?
No, just kidding. It was okay.
Oh, okay. But I think they can make it work. And sometimes you need kind of a breather after something. Like
yes, it wasn't that great.
like super big.
Anyway,
go ahead.
My problem with that,
right.
we've talked about this since we started watching Loki. You know, we've had this discussion on what if.
Broke the seal,
is it getting too big? And I think there is. I think this looks good. Again, I really liked No Way Home. This one is really intriguing to me because I do like the X-Men movies and I like the casting they've done. So they're bringing in that. So I think for me, there's a lot of things that make this really intriguing. My concern, like what Josh said, is does it get too big to a point where you've just created a ton of plot holes that when the next movie comes out, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense because that person should be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm afraid it's getting to a point where it's not manageable anymore. And so it's just kind of like, let's throw everyone in there. Unless they do something where at the end of this movie, it's like, all right, we're back to a timeline. One thing I saw that was interesting was one guy said in a video I was watching that he's like, what if the original timeline from what we're all used to with Marvel, like all the Thanos stuff, is not the real timeline? And this was one created to get rid of the mutants. And they established that the new timeline that Doctor Strange is doing is actually the real timeline that includes mutants, and they need to get back to that timeline. I thought that would be kind of an interesting thing, where you kind of say, we need you, like you thought the Thanos stuff was like the primary timeline, but that wasn't. That was just a vergence off of it, a branch that went off. And so this is actually the real timeline. That would be interesting to me, but I am concerned that it just getting too big. For example, one of the coolest things that I think about what DC's doing is that, yes, they have a multiverse, but there's also like Batman, and there's just going to be a trilogy of Batman movies, right? Where I just feel like you can just sit there and be like, I don't have to worry about where's Superman, where's this. It's like just following one character. I don't think Marvel has that now because everything is so connected that you're just creating this bigger thing like, well, where's this character? Where's the Hulk at? Where's Thor at? And that to me gets messy.
I mean, DC still struggles with that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like everyone struggles, but I think
so.
DC I wish Marvel had a movie like the thing that I like about how they ended Spider-Man is kind of feels like he can now do his own thing and have like a trilogy of movies that doesn't have to involve like Captain America showing up.
Yeah.
Like just do a Spider-Man movies.
So you're talking about what I talked about, which I was like, can they somehow do a soft reset or at least resetting the whole multiverse opening, right? Can they somehow close it?
Yeah.
How do they do that? I don't know. But I think that it's really tough to do that, but I think it would benefit from that. Okay, mutants, you can come in. Okay, all right, now close the multiverse stuff, and now they can all have their own little individual movies. Yeah, I would like that, but I don't know if they can. I don't know.
Yeah, like
I feel like Kang the Conqueror is too big of a thing. I think they're doing Galactus, which is going to be soon, or not soon, but eventual. That's huge stuff. That's like celestial power level. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they will, but I
it's
agree with
be
you.
Nuts.
I wish they would. But it's big.
Well, here's the question.
Hopefully they define the rules better.
I don't think they're going to do that. And here's the
anonymity, not anonymity.
Here's the
ambiguity.
Here's the question that I'm like. They introduce a new Wolverine, so I go to a Wolverine movie, but I'm like, is Captain America going to show up in the Wolverine movie? Like, are we going to have like? But I don't want that.
People love that.
Yeah, but the thing
that's the thing.
I think at some point it just becomes like, okay, it just becomes like all these characters showing up. I want to focus on one character and give me like maybe some side characters come in, but that's what I want. I don't want it to always be so big, and that's where I think, like Josh says, it might be getting hard because as you do like. I mean, all these heroes are in it. And then you get to a point where you're like, was it lame that just you had a Gambit solo movie? I don't know. It's like, it makes it hard.
I think they've already had that issue of, without the multiverse, when you have 10 main super
Yes.
powerful guys. How do you do that? Well, they did it with Black Widow, right? They did it with Hawkeye. Like, there's parts of that where you're like, well, where were they?
Yeah, and
But
it
they're
doesn't
doing
work.
it. But they're doing it. Well, Hawkeye, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, let's be honest. It was his own thing. They wrote a story that had to do with him, and it was an embarrassing thing, and he didn't want to, get people into it. So it's like, they've been doing it.
Yeah.
Is it believable? That's up to you. Probably not. But, like, they do, like, 5 solos, and then I think they're going to follow the whole, like, Avengers type thing where they're going to do some kind of Avengers 2.0, the B team or the youngins, and they're going to do 5, 6 solos, then a group movie, and then 5, 6. Like, it just strikes me as a thing Disney would do because they're like formulas and they are successful. Yeah. So that's what I see them doing. I think they're going to do that. Yeah. But yeah, I think this movie has a lot of potential, of a lot of fun moments, and I love I miss the X-Men to be frank with you. I think that there's a lot of potential with that, but I am very hesitant to see how they do it. At least they have Xavier, like what's his name, Patrick Stewart. Sir.
Well, and
that was cool. They did that right, at least. That was good.
The cool thing too is, this is again another rumor, but some people are saying that this isn't the Xavier from the X-Men movies, but this is from the 1987 cartoon. He has his gold thing, and they're like, that would be a way Disney is reviving that animated series. It could be that variant, which I think that would be cool if he was playing the 1987 cartoon.
97.
Wait. Then why would they cast the same person?
That 97. Did I say 87?
Yeah,
the year I was born. 97. Because he still looks like him. He can still play him. But I'm just saying, like, that would be kind of an interesting, like, shift on it.
Wouldn't that be a missed opportunity for them to get a younger Xavier?
No. Yes. I don't think so. He's bald. He's old. He looks like him.
Are they going to de-age him?
Isn't he really old?
I don't know. We'll see.
They might de-age him. He better look like a cartoon. That's the case.
You better have a black outline, dog.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that time, that would be interesting. Because then it kind of eliminates to be like, well, which one is this? Is this the Logan one? Is this the Days of Future Past? Is this? So it's just kind of interesting. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting movie. I'm looking forward to it. Next thing, we're going to go just to some DC news. They had before the Super Bowl, they had kind of a little teaser, had footage from the Batman, had a few footage from Black Adam, Aquaman, and the Flash. I think were the ones that they were really showing. It had some cool. We saw Dr. Fate. We saw Hawkman, Hawk Guy, and then we saw obviously the Flash suit. A little better shot
His
of
helmet
the Flash suit.
It was a better angle.
The Aquaman stuff was just kind of not much. Yeah,
just a suit.
Just a few lines that he dropped. Anyways, I thought it looked cool. Black Adam, I think, looks really cool to me with Dr. Fate and stuff like that. But what did you guys think?
When are we getting a Black Adam trailer?
Pretty soon, because it comes out in summer, right?
That's what I thought.
Maybe.
I think it's a summer release. Aquaman's November or December, Christmas time.
Black Adam stood out to me as the highlight for me. Everything else was like, okay, yeah, I know. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Yeah. But same stuff. They didn't have a ton of stuff, so that's just me.
Yeah, I think I would have liked just a Black Adam trailer instead.
Yeah.
Do we get one before the Batman?
I'm thinking you're going to get something with the Batman. I mean, they should drop something with that trailer.
Yeah, it's time to do it.
It's like 2 weeks from now. Oh, yeah. Crazy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Dr. Fate looked cool. I think that's my biggest takeaway. Hawkman looked cool. Yeah. Looked good.
Yeah. In other DC news, Michael Keaton spotted on set of the Batgirl. Again, if you want to see those pictures, you can find them. They're all over the internet. Some people are saying that the guy that's doing this fan account, it's like a Gotham, it's like Batgirl Instagram.
It's Michael Keaton's
No,
Instagram.
But they're saying like the amount.
Can you go take a picture of me over there?
The amount of stuff.
Make sure it's blurry.
The amount of stuff they're getting, they're like, it seems like this is like Warner Brothers managing the account because
it's like Peter Parker taking pictures of Spider-Man.
Yes. They had a video that was like a 3-minute video of Firefly, played by Brandon Fraser, blowing stuff up, and they're like, how is this person filming this? Like
Every time.
they had like Jim Gordon showing up and getting out of the police car and like all the stuff that you're just like, they would, in other movies, they would either take the stuff down and not allow people in, but they're getting a lot of stuff. So it seems like it's more like building hype, which is fine.
I love the idea of it.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. So I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
And it's at least controlled.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the exposure's in their hands. You know, there could be more stuff, but if they're showing stuff anyway, it's like,
Yeah. And then you get
like
what you like. It's not unflattering shots. It's like,
yeah, you can choose.
you know, you can choose, hey, put this one out. Let's not put that one out.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Choop, anything to say on this or no? We're good. Okay. Next thing,
No comment.
Nintendo Direct had a
Nintendo
Nintendo Direct
They did.
on Wednesday, and I'm going to throw it over to Josh. I wrote some stuff down, but I didn't get to see the whole thing, but Josh is going to kind of run through some of the things that were released.
Yeah, some of the stuff that kind of stood out to me at least was, well, Advanced Wars 1 and 2 comes out April 8th, so that's a remaster of the old Game Boy Advance game, which I know people really love that game.
Well loved.
I never really played it, but I might get it. It's I like strategy games like that.
I would have friends in high school and they'd be like, dude, Advance Wars. I'm like, Fire Emblem. But cool, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's two camps.
Exactly. I played more Fire Emblem. So No Man's Sky is coming to the Switch in the summer, which is a game that has been out for a long time. Had a rocky start and has just kept on going, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mario Strikers Battle League comes out June 10th, baby.
Hey,
I love that game, dude.
Mario Strikers is great.
Yeah, I remember we used to play the crap out of that one in high school. So I'm excited for another one, up to 8 players. So that's pretty crazy.
Oh, dang. Have our own World Cup, baby.
I know. I'm excited for it. Splatoon 3, they announced it's coming out this summer. So they showed a little trailer about the Salmon Run co-op game mode that they have. Kirby and the Forgotten Land comes out March 25th. There's a thing called Mouthful Mode where Kirby swallows things like a car or a vending machine. Okay. And then you play as a vending machine and you shoot cans out. Freaking weird, dude.
Now we're talking.
Look up pictures of
That game,
Kirby Mouthful Mode.
I saw one where he's eating a car.
Yeah. It's kind of disturbing.
The game kind of looks cool, though. Like, I might check it out.
Yeah.
You're not
got to do it for the Mouthful Mode.
Kirby, bro?
You're not going to play it.
I might.
No, you're not.
Odds are, nope.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's okay, though.
Maybe I'll prove you wrong. Golden Corral? Did I get it?
Yeah, sure. You dropped $60 for Golden Corral.
And then Kingdom Hearts, they're porting all the games to the Switch.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
All of them?
That's crazy.
There's like 2 packs, though, right? That's like 1 and 3, and then...
Yeah, however many.
All the decimals and...
2.5. It's like the freaking...
remix.
Yeah.
We should ask Josh Lusso on that one. Hey, Lusso.
Exactly. I'll ask Crystal,
Let us
too.
know.
I was like, don't care about that.
When you walk away, dude.
And then there's a game that was only released in Japan originally as an RPG called Live Alive that they're releasing on the Switch. It looks pretty cool, actually.
Oh, nice.
And then Nintendo Switch Sports is coming out.
Hey, it's about dang time, dude.
I'm actually pretty stoked about that.
It's a winner.
It's
a
here's
winner.
The thing.
Why didn't they do it in the beginning? Dumb.
We better be getting the same soundtrack. Cause,
Well, so I was watching,
Single.
and they're like,
Strike.
and they're showing like bowling and stuff, and I was like, they showed the new, volleyball or badminton or whatever, and I was like, no golf. And then at the end, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do an update, and you're gonna play golf." I was like, "Okay, I love golf. I love golf.
Golf is fun.
I mean, yeah, it's a win. Like you said, it's a winner, dude. Wii Sports.
The graphics are way better now.
I think it's a little sad that the kids right now don't know the fun of Wii Sports.
Yeah.
Man, that was such a universally fun game.
was that like the best-selling game on the Wii?
Well, I came bundled with the game.
So, yes.
And everyone bought Wii.
yes.
Everyone bought Wii's because of Wii Sports.
And they get them.
Everyone's
That was my-
parents.
that was
Your
my favorite game on the
grandparents
Wii.
were buying it. Your,
My
your
dad
aunts and
was
uncles.
playing bowling
He
every
loved
night.
it.
Yeah, my dad still plays bowling.
That was
He got
like
his Wii
date night.
downstairs.
That was
Hey,
date
my
night.
Wii Sports doesn't work.
Dad,
Can
you playing
fix
with your
it?
Wii down there?
Love it. That's awesome. That's the best thing about Nintendo Direct, in my opinion. That's the highlight.
Yeah.
And then Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings is on the Switch Online service. So that's NES's original game.
Never played them.
That's
Might
pretty
check it
fun.
out.
All right, yeah.
I
It
mean,
reminds me of Pokemon. like walking around the town and
Yeah, a little
having
bit.
conversations
Capturing
with
animals,
people.
making them fight each other.
Yeah.
And then
Just like Pokemon.
exactly. And then Mario Kart 8 is getting 48
Yeah.
total remastered courses from all the other games.
Cool.
So
Wow.
you can pay for it, or if you have the online service,
Do it.
It's free. And then the last thing they announced was Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I personally don't care about.
Yeah.
I find the character actors' voices really annoying in those games.
Sure.
So I've never really gotten into it.
Right.
But yeah, quite a few things.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
And this isn't Nintendo Direct, but apparently there was a leak of all the Arkham games are coming to the Switch.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Even
Not
not Origins.
not Origins. So
Gosh.
it's the three the
The
Rocksteady
good
ones.
ones.
Hey.
I've never played the Origins.
Origins is good.
That's the game I want to play
actually.
the most out of them.
Anyway, so they might eventually, but apparently there's a leak that they're gonna
so
be
frustrated.
selling the 3 for the Switch.
That's cool.
And there's also the Force Unleashed
Yeah, Force Unleashed port is coming out.
Games.
for the Switch.
And then
They look rough. Like the Force Unleashed looked
oh well,
rough.
it's just the
Yeah.
original port they did for the Wii that was awful.
Bro.
So
Yeah. That's
But people
that
are gonna get it, bro.
that one should be fine.
yeah,
The Arkham games, that one worries me because that's more taxing than Force Unleashed. And the Wii doesn't have much power, so I'll
hope you're not playing the Arkham games on your Wii, bro.
that's Switch, bro. The glory days of the Wii, man. I'm telling you what, man.
just me's.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be so
They just change all the models. Yeah,
I'd play that. That sounds sweet.
yeah,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if how that runs on the Switch.
definitely
Yeah.
questionable because I was getting like minus 10
Yeah.
frames on.
Well, they're
Minecraft.
launching it with the Switch Pro, obviously.
Yeah,
Switch 2 that's coming out.
Oh, nice. Oh, I was going to say
you had something
before we
stuff.
finish. So Lost Ark, obviously these guys don't play, but me and a ton of my friends played it this week. It came out on
What was it on your list? Your most anticipated list?
number one.
Number 1.
I was the most excited about this game. It came out on Tuesday. I've been playing it a lot. It's really fun. The leveling and questing, the beginning of the game is kind of slow and a little repetitive, but man, does it make up for it at the end of the end game. The end game is so expansive. I'm just like looking at this game. I'm like, I don't think I'll get to the end of this for like months.
What kind of game is it?
So it's a top down.
Okay.
So it's like Diablo type.
Okay. I'm following you.
Instead of having 4 abilities, you have 8. So you have more abilities. And then it's an MMO. So you can play with a lot of different players. There's open worlds and stuff like that. You can interact with random people. There's questing and there's gear. And if you like the sound of that, it's a fun game. The boss fights are incredible. That's the whole reason why I would ever recommend it to anyone is if you really like intense, hard, boss fights. And these boss fights are creative. They look beautiful and they're very challenging. It's like for us, we were doing there's a thing called Guardian Raid where you fight a guardian. That's it. So you and 3 other friends go in there and you have to take down this boss and you don't know how much health they have. They also don't have any UI aspects to it, so you have to kind of just guess on how much health they have and how close they're being to staggered where they'll get stunned, kind of like Monster Hunter, that aspect of it. It feels very much like Monster Hunter, but like a top-down version. Man, it's so intense when you get that killing blow on them because you're like, this could be going on for another like 5 minutes. I don't know how far along he is. When you get the kill, you're like, yeah, like it's been some awesome moments with my friends where we're just like literally cheering when we beat bosses. It's super cool. So the question I guess a lot of people are asking is, does it live up to the hype that it had? And I would say it's a little overhyped, but man, does it. I mean, it's right there. Like people are hyping it up to be like a 9.5 out of 10, and it's like a 9 for me. It's like so great. I can see why people love this game. I can see why they ported it over, and I can see why it has so much content for the last 3 years. The Steam charts, which say how many concurrent players there are, they said the peak was 1.4 million players, which barely tied or beat out Counter-Strike, which is like the biggest Steam game ever. Long history of it's like probably the most popular first person shooter out there. So huge for an MMO. an MMO being a genre that's not popular anymore. Fortnite's popular. That they have like, I think Fortnite's probably the most played, or Minecraft, and they're probably at like 3 mil, which is insanity. Like, it's so crazy. But yeah, Lost Ark 1.4 concurrent players. That means at the same time. That doesn't count everyone who's playing, so that's millions more than that. They had to triple their servers after release because of the interest, because it's a free to play game. If you have a PC, you can play it.
Oh, nice.
You can play with controller if you want to. Like, it's very accessible. And man, the game is just it just really did live up to its hype. And yeah, been having a blast with it, guys. It's awesome.
That's sweet.
I'm super happy, and I'm going to be playing it for the next couple months.
So it's not like World of Warcraft where you pay a subscription. It's just you can play.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, as
Free to
per
play.
all free to play games, there are options where you can spend money, get cool looking mounts and skins and pets and stuff like that, and weapons. But yeah, it's awesome. So anyone out there who's a PC gamer,
Are you
thumbs up.
glad you put it as your number one? Is it still like?
Well, we'll see
that
when
high?
we watch the Batman. If the Batman blows my pants off, then
You would have been wrong.
maybe I made a mistake. But no, I think I did the right thing, because I've already sunk. Oh, you guys guess how many hours? So Tuesday it came out. Okay,
Last week.
Yeah,
So
Tuesday
that's the
last
reason you
week.
couldn't do the podcast yesterday. You're like, guys,
I'm in the middle of a Guardian raid. Yeah.
this guy won't die.
No, I was watching Legend of Vox Machina with Joby and Tina, actually. But yeah, what do you guys think? How many hours do you think I've spent from Tuesday to today? What do you guys think? I haven't taken any days off, but I do get to play every once in a while, on off times. But
50 hours.
okay, Mick, what do you think? Deep in thought, Mick is. Josh, what do you think?
Deep in thought, Mick.
I'm gonna say
I might be a
I'm
Jedi.
gonna say 45.
Okay.
Ooh, he lowballed me.
I'm gonna go 55.
You guys sandwiched me, you rats.
Congratulations, Mick. You won. I think it's 69 hours.
Nice.
Dang, 69 hours. Don't tell my wife. She knows. She plays with me, actually. It's awesome. I have my own character that when she gets on, we play together. We're playing through the story
Nice.
together. And then I have my own character who's max level and doing crazy stuff.
Sweet.
But man, it is. I'll have to stream it sometime.
Yeah, you should.
Peek in and see what it looks like. It is a little crazy, but it's so fun.
Well, hey, once I get the Steam Deck, I'll give it a shot.
You could. Yeah.
I heard the Steam Deck got
Oh.
nothing on the Nintendo Switch battery life. That's what I heard.
Yeah, well, it has a lot more
Anyway.
power.
saying, just
that's
throwing
it
that
for
out
Lost Ark. Yes, but Lost Ark, 2 thumbs up for me. I even did a review on Steam.
Nice.
I was like,
Cool.
it's got a lot of future to it. What?
Cool.
What? Why are you
It's
gasping?
easy to do you're able to do a
Yeah, it's very
review
easy. It's
on
right underneath the
Steam.
game. It says write a review right underneath.
Did you say check out Nerd Age podcast on
I
your
would just say
review?
no,
Come
I
on, bro.
Sorry, dude.
Horizon Forbidden West comes out on Friday as well.
And by the way,
right.
huge reviews for
Yeah.
that.
That got a
they're
9,
all
right?
Typical games are,
I saw IGN gave it a 9 or something.
dude.
A lot of the reviews are like,
like
9
9+.
Yeah, plus.
Like 9,
Picking
2,
it up
9,
day
3.
one.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it already. Should be coming to the door as soon as the mailman gets there. Chris will be playing it. So
You have to wait. Wait your turn.
that's fine with me.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game. Yeah, you can tell just by the reviews and like, yeah. Some of the critics I follow, they're pretty tough on him, and they're
Yeah,
nines.
people are like, it's as good as the first one, but
Yeah.
bigger and better.
Yep.
Like, okay, well, that's good.
That's what
I
I
like
would
to
say.
hear.
Did you play the
wanna
first one?
Yeah, you'd like it once you get something to play it on. You should play it.
Once you take some Dramamine,
Yeah, I gave
Every sit
my
down.
PS4 away thinking I was gonna get a PS5.
oh,
And
you
then-
give away your 4
Money situations happened, and
kids' houses.
who knows when you're ever gonna get one?
It's tough being an adult.
Yeah,
Well, Legos keep coming out.
That's
you know?
true. That is true.
And Legos don't give you a
It's
headache,
okay,
right?
dude.
right.
You can get Switch Sports or whatever it was called. That'll
Switch Force.
That'll be great.
Hey, I'm getting the Skywalker Saga for Lego.
Oh, nice.
That's gonna be brutal though. That's gonna give me a headache.
Yeah. Especially with the camera, how it like.
I better fix my eyes before
Yeah, it's
April.
yeah, probably.
do something.
Awesome. Was that it for the news?
That's it for the news.
A lot of news today. Jeez.
A lot of news.
News, yeah. News
Oh,
heavy.
we didn't say Obi-Wan It's coming out end of May.
Oh, yes.
It's gonna be May.
Dun, 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 dun. Let's go.
They
Good
dropped a
job,
poster too, holding Anakin's lightsaber.
Yep.
It looks like so. And rumor is that Darth Vader
Big time.
is going to
Long
be in
time.
it big time. And they said, imagine Vader from Rogue One, the hallway scene, just angrier. So I was like, okay,
They know how to
all right,
please
yeah.
us, don't they?
That's how it should be.
And Han Solo's showing up.
Hey, if anything has higher odds, I would say that one has higher odds. But yeah, probably not though.
Pretty awesome. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this week.
Yeah,
Right?
that's the show.
Check us out everywhere you get podcasts. Check out our YouTube page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Like and subscribe.
Leave us reviews. We'll read them if we get them. And thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.